What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's
21 million of these.
That's the energy I'm vibing with this whole month. You feel what I'm saying? As I do so well. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for joining me this time around. Thanks a lot for joining me in the previous stream as well. If you missed it, you know exactly what to do. It's on my channel. Go find it. You know exactly what to do. Stop playing with me. For now, we're gonna look into a video by Melusi Jubani, right? The title of the video is The Scary Business of Unemployment in South Africa. You are trapped. Let's see what he's talking about quickly.
Out of a population of 63 million, South Africa has a youth demographic of roughly 21 million of these people. Of the 21 million youth, 60.9% of these aged between the ages of 15 to 24 are unemployed.
Ambrose, my guy.
When we move to the age range of 25 to 34, 40.6% of them are estimated to be unemployed. To make you understand the sheer scale of how screwed we actually are, in 2007, the unemployment number was said to be well below 25%. Many will say the true culprit is the number of foreign. In 2007, the unemployment number was said to be well below 25%.
That's 2007.
Many will say the true culprit is the number of foreign nationals flooding into the country, which has some truth to it, but this thing goes deeper than you all think.
Yeah, obviously it's not the only reason why we have such bad youth unemployment in the country. It's definitely one of the reasons. Another problem is that our economy hasn't been growing. It's been quite, I wouldn't even say stagnant, but rather descending, right? Sharp. Growth of 1 point something percent is literally nothing. It's minuscule, right? That's not a growing economy. And when something is linear, when the economy is moving in a linear fashion, obviously that's a bad thing. We need to be going, it needs to be bullish. So yeah, the economy hasn't been growing. Why? Because investors are not investing in the country. Why? Because there's problems like load shedding, for instance, right? The government is making it very difficult for businesses to also thrive because they have to abide by the BEE laws as well. You know what I'm saying? We need ANC members to also have a piece of the pie as well. Unfortunately, if these ANC members can't hold those high positions in these companies that are being literally moved into South Africa, or the ones that are setting shop in South Africa, then it's not going to happen. You're not going to set up business here in this country. Right, so yeah, there's a lot of factors that contribute to the current state we are in right now. But let me not yap too much. Let me let my bro Melusi Jubani operate.
As I dug deeper, I even found shocking trails of information on government officials being given benefits so they don't enforce labor laws, nor even try to change these labor laws that can help drastically lower the unemployment rate. Now, the question then becomes, who buys off these government officials? Well, to simplify it, a shadow network of powerful individuals who protect profits over everything, even ahead of your livelihood. Welcome to the dark world of South Africa's elite.
Let's go.
To understand how this shadow network operates, we have to look at a number. 27 Rand 58 cents.
That's the minimum wage per hour.
This is the
but that was back in the day, because currently right now it's at 32 rands, just over 32 rands per hour.
Official national hourly minimum wage. By law, if a business pays a worker less than that amount per hour, the business is committing a crime. It sounds progressive, right? It sounds like the government is protecting its people. But in the world of high-level corporate finance, a law is only as powerful as the person sent to enforce it.
As we take stock of South Africa's unemployment crisis, it remains one of the country's biggest economic challenges. The latest figures from Statistics South Africa, which show the official unemployment rate rose to 32.7%. That's in the first quarter of 2026. According to South African stats, more than 8.1 million South Africans are...
Because even in 2025, it was at 32 point something percent. So the first quarter of 2025 and first quarter of 2026, it's only a difference of like 0.4%. So it's literally almost identical. You know what I mean? So there hasn't been any... Bro, this country, dog. I keep saying that things are just stagnant or just declining.
Rose to 32.7%. That's in the first quarter of 2026. According to South African stats, more than 8.1 million South Africans are without work.
Currently sitting at 8.5 million South Africans that are without work. So just in the span of like what, 3 months, about 400,000 people have been recorded as unemployed. Blood clot.
I first started looking into the entire dilemma, I assumed it was just a typical state inefficiency. We've all seen the news. We know the stories of failing infrastructure, the recent immigration protests. But when you look closer at the timeline, a pattern begins to emerge. Let's go to November 2018. The National Minimum Wage Act was signed into law with massive media fanfare. The politicians stood on the stages, shaking hands, talking of a new era of dignity for the South African working class. On paper, it was a victory. But you see, while the front door was being locked with big promises, the back door was quietly being removed from its hinges. I spent quite a number of days digging through the Department of Employment and Labour's annual performance reports from that exact period, and what I found was truly mind-blowing.
Talk about it.
At the very moment when this historic minimum wage law was being passed, the budget allocations for inspector training and enforcement field operations were systematically squeezed out. Think about that. You pass a law that makes underpaying South Africans a criminal act,
Right.
but you also simultaneously make sure that the task force meant to detect that crime is practically non-existent. It's like passing a law against speeding and then firing almost all traffic officers for the entire province.
And then fast forward 2026, because he's talking about 2018. Fast forward 2026, the government announces that they're going to hire 10,000 labor officials, or 10,000 labor, what you call these, Bruce? 10,000 labor, I'm just going to say officials, for lack of a better word, to literally go around South Africa and make sure that the labor laws are being enforced. So 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So it took you guys 8 years to literally implement this 10,000 labor department inspectors to foresee that the labor laws are being implemented in the country. Why are you only moving now 8 years later in 2026? Is it because of the marches? Is it because South Africans are now starting to raise frustration on the internet? Is it because South Africans are now in the streets literally rioting or maybe protesting legally to be able to get these labor laws and immigration laws enforced? I think the answer is the latter, literally.
It just makes no sense,
Right.
unless the lack of enforcement was actually the goal all along.
Thank you, Hotman.
All this raises a critical question. If the law is practically invisible, what does that actually look like to everyday South Africans?
Fine.
How deep does this betrayal actually run?
How does it look for the average criminal? Come on. How does it look for the capitalistic entrepreneurs or the capitalistic system that's been set up here in the country? This is capitalist heaven. Cheap labor, labor laws that are not enforced, immigration laws that are not this is cheap. This is modern day slavery heaven, because the law is turning a blind eye to all this criminality that's been going on in the country. The people who are profiting here in South Africa is people who are breaking laws. Well, obviously not all of them. What I'm saying is that a lot of people come to this country because it's just easy to operate and just break laws, because you just get slapped on the wrist, you get fined maybe, or you can just, slip a brown envelope underneath the car seat of a patrolling labor department official. Oh, you moving Ntash? No problem. We got you. Just make sure that you have 10,000 rands that's ready to be slipped into the purse of a traffic officer or a police officer. Don't worry about it. So a lot of criminals in this country are living large simply because the laws of this country are not being implemented by the officials that have been put in place and paid by taxpayers to operate. Very unfortunate. For driving.
To find out, I had to look past the official press releases and dive into independent economic data that mainstream media rarely talks about. Because of this deliberate lack of enforcement, independent economic studies have exposed a terrifying reality. Up to 44% of workers in vulnerable sectors are paid completely below the legal minimum wage. Think about the scale of that extraction. Billions of rands that should be going into the pockets of everyday citizens are instead being kept as pure corporate profit.
And another method that the corporates use to make sure that they profit off of these lack of implementation of the labor laws is they seasonally hire new interns to replace previous interns of the previous season or the previous financial year. So every year, what these companies do is they would hire new interns. They give them contracts like a 6-month contract, 3-month or 18-month contract. You work for a year and a half and then they let you go. Literally, that's what's been going on in this country for years now, and the government is turning a blind eye to that. So you hop from this internship to the next one. You're like, I bet. So this internship is not going to absorb me. Clearly, they didn't absorb the previous guys in the previous year. So what am I going to do going forward? At least now you have experience, Sivana. You put that in your CV. You continue applying, and you get another internship. Guess what? They just keep you for 6 months and they kick you out again because they found a replacement for you. And it's just ongoing and ongoing. It's an ongoing cycle in these South African companies, and our labor department has been ignoring this for years now. This is a conversation that a lot of people are not having. A conversation that I'm only having now with you guys. I need to literally make videos about this issue because this is bad. The youth just get cycled from this company to the next. This company to the next. Given contracts that are so temporary that it's like, that is not a career then. Because they're not getting any benefits. They're not even contributing to UIF, so they can't even say, okay, after I leave this job, then I can file for you. No, you can't do that because you're not permanently employed in that company. UJ, hi. Hospitality, hi. These are industries that are literally milking the life out of the youth without even compensating them the rightful way as far as contractually is concerned. But nobody's saying anything about these things. I think I'll talk about these topics more often on my channel. Hold on, let's keep going.
When you look at sectors like agriculture, private security, domestic work, hospitality, the numbers are even more devastating. In some agricultural belts, compliance with the minimum wage is virtually non-existent. The people...
Ambrose, dog. Yo, don't start with me, dog. Ambrose is saying that it's either they do that, it's either they hire you temporarily and then kick you out, and in comes the next cycle of students or the next cycle of interns, etc. Or they let the people go just before they are going to become permanent. If the probation period is 6 months, then you will work for 5 months and 29 days and they will let you go. Bro, come on, dog. How is our Home Affairs, how is our Labor Department ignorant and literally oblivious to all of this? If you and I know about this, this is extremely common. I don't know you, buddy. Ambrose, I don't know you. So we never had this conversation, you and I. We only meet on these live streams. And you and I have never had these conversations on these live streams. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you can imagine how many of our peers are affected by this exact same thing that you and I are talking about right now. And our government has been turning a blind eye to all of this. And now we're shocked that they say, unemployment rate is still high. Duh. A lot of these people who are employed don't get absorbed from by these companies. There's a lot of graduates, a lot of people with degrees who are sitting at home right now because they're not getting absorbed. Come on now, stop playing with me, bro. Stop playing with me.
People who harvest the food that feeds the nation are working for basically pennies, completely cut off from the legal protection they are guaranteed by the Constitution. It's a massive transfer of wealth from the absolute poorest in our society and straight into the pockets of the corporate elite. But here is where the plot actually starts to thicken. If a business wants to underpay its workforce on a massive scale, it runs into a massive obstacle. Local South Africans know their rights. They know they can go to the CMA. They know they can form a union, or they can do a protest like the recent March and March. So now, this is where the weapon of the South African elite comes into play.
I'll tell you what they do. So knowing that South Africans know their laws and that they can go to the CCMA to be able to get their labor laws enforced by the Labor Department, you know what these elites do? The elites, the ones that are hiring employees in their companies, they simply just do not hire South Africans. Because only South Africans can literally go to the CCMA and say, "Help, I need help with you guys because my employer is abusing us." An illegal foreigner cannot do that. So guess what we're going to do? Let them in. Let them in. You get a job. You get a job. You get a job. We don't care if you're legal or not. You get a job. You get a job. You get a job. But South Africans, But you get a job. You, Tanzania, Ghana, Ethiopia, Malawi, etc., Nigeria, Ghana. You guys come in the country. Zimbabwe. Oh my goodness. You have any idea how many? South Africa has millions of Zimbabweans here. Just look at the hospitality industry. Look at the restaurants. Just go in a restaurant there in Cape Town. Trust me, it's not South Africans working in those as waitresses. It's not South Africans working in those restaurants. So yes, we're gonna hire a whole lot of foreigners in these positions. Why? Because they don't have the right to go to CCMA and go complain about the labor laws that we're not enforcing in our company. They can't snitch on us. Why? Because they are undocumented. These institutions only work for legally employed Africans or anybody, whether you're European or whatever. You can use CCMA as long as you're legally employed. But an illegal foreigner? Fuck no. I mean, somebody who's getting paid using a brown envelope? Fuck no. Not even contributing to taxes, most. Come on, man. Stop playing. So, obviously, we're going to duke the life of this bro. We're going to underpay him and we're going to treat him like poo. And you can't do nothing about it because there's no union that's going to fight for foreigners in South Africa when it comes to these employment laws that have been broken by employers. I hope you learned something today. Let's keep going.
These South African corporate elite don't hire foreign nationals because they prefer foreign labor. They hire them because an undocumented migrant has no legal existence. They cannot report an abusive boss to the police without risking deportation.
Yes, sir.
They cannot go to the CCMA when their wages are stolen. The wealthy elite have created the ultimate corporate asset, a hyper-desperate, completely unprotected parallel workforce that they can exploit with almost zero legal consequences.
So do not let them gaslight you when they say that we are hiring Zimbabweans because they work hard and they don't complain. No, stop lying. You only hired them because of this reason that Melusi is exposing right now. Stop playing with us.
To fully understand how this parallel workforce became the dominant engine of corporate South Africa,
talk about it.
We have to look at the massive economic shift that occurred around 2007. Why 2007? Because that was the year South Africa's unemployment rate had reached the lowest point in the post-apartheid era, sitting well below 25%. Labor unions were still powerful. Local workers were demanding better working conditions, higher wages, and safer environments. For the corporate elite, this was a direct threat to profit margins. So how did they respond to this? They didn't fight the unions in public.
What they do?
Instead, they restructured the entire labor market. I started looking into the explosive growth of what they call labor brokers and subcontracting agencies during this period. These are third-party companies that hire workers on behalf of the large corporations. Suddenly, major retail chains, agricultural giants, and construction conglomerates no longer employ their workers directly. If a worker
I know these companies, bruh. I know them.
complained about wages, they weren't dealing with a multi-billion rand parent company. They were dealing with a shell company labor broker that could dissolve and disappear overnight.
Yes.
But even labor brokering had its limits under South African law. To truly drive the labor costs down, the Shadow Network needed something else. They needed a class of workers who were completely stripped of their legal agency. And this is where the border comes into the picture. But wait, if this is so obvious, why hasn't anyone in power done anything about it?
No foreigners, up from a third in 2021.
Guys, I need you to subscribe to this channel. I'm writing it right now. Melusi Jubani. Go subscribe on Melusi Jubani after this video. Don't leave now. You'll leave after this video. Go subscribe to Melusi Jubani. This is his channel. He's the one who's doing all this amazing work. I say believe. This is
in
great
an
stuff.
Afrobarometer survey, 7 out of 10 South Africans said they see immigrants' economic impact as negative.
Why do the borders remain a boiling point while politicians claim they are fighting to protect South African jobs? We'll get to that because the answer to that question reveals the most sinister trade-off in our modern history. Before that, we have to talk about those who did everything right. The youth who believed the promise of the new South Africa.
Right.
What's happening to the young people who did everything right? Spent years studying, sacrificing, and getting the university degree.
They get
You
sidelined.
think they're safe, right? Well, even for university graduates, the unemployment rate is sitting at an unnatural 10.3%.
Alright, cool. So 90% of them get absorbed by the system, those who have degrees, and 10% are sitting at home. Yeah. Okay,
Speak
cool.
to what we have studied. Because as a BCom law graduate, I shouldn't be, for example, capturing data or at a call center.
Bro.
We want to contribute to the economy of this country. Our country is at junk status right now.
Why?
And now we're talking about those who are sitting at home, the 10% of these university graduates with degrees or higher learning, education, whatever. Now, a large number of them, within the 90% that are employed, they are not working. There's a percentage of them who are not working using the degrees that they possessed along the years of studying. Some are working in malls, in the retail industry. Some are working in the hospitality industry, in restaurants as waiters and waitresses. You know what I'm saying? So they're not even absorbed by the exact same industries that they studied for. Some of them are even leaving the country to go teach English in China. You feel me? Why? Because our South African systems are not absorbing them. It's extremely, very, very unfortunate that this is the reality that we have to live with here in the country and turn a blind eye to because of fear of being called xenophobic. Shut up.
Why is this actually happening? Because the elite have designed a second gatekeeper, the experience factor. You must have 3 to 5 years experience for an entry-level position. Just imagine that.
Bro.
You've all probably seen this on every job post. It's a
Dog, you just got here. You literally just got here, dog. Zero experience. You know what I mean? And even if you do have experience, one thing that I've also realized is that when I look at these job posts, what they do is they put down a whole lot of things in the job description. And you're like, hi, Bomus, this is work that's done by 3 different people. These are 3 different salaries. And they're looking for one person, a junior that is, to take care of senior level responsibilities. Like, I say, guys, what's going on here? I thought that, this guy, this role over here was handled by this guy. At least somebody who studied for this. And then these other points, this one as well, that's a different position. Why do they expect me as a junior to be able to know how to operate all of these things? It's shocking. So that's another thing that they employ to make sure that they literally abuse the life out of the system. Because all of those points in that one job description, you're going to have to do all of those things and get paid a single salary by covering all those hats. So the responsibility of the person who's being employed is way up there. But the salary doesn't justify it. The salary just does not justify it. I mean, on my channel just about a week ago, I did a video reacting to a lady from Zimbabwe who says that she was working in a Cape Town restaurant and she was the cleaner. She was a chef. She was doing about 3 positions. She got trained for 3 positions in a span of 6 months by her white employer. But she was earning 1 salary. She was renting where she was living. Wasn't even driving a car. You're working in a restaurant doing 3 things all at the same time, earning 1 salary, and you still expected to build a life and a career out of 1 salary but wearing 3 hats. Mind you, she was also underpaid as well, working below the minimum wage. And our politicians are okay with that. Our politicians and the Pan-Africanists of this continent are okay with immigrants or Africans coming into South Africa to work these slavery positions here in South Africa, serving the same white man that they claim that colonized this country. Something is very wrong. There's a brewer helping me at Vodacom. He's like, yo, dog, I see that you studied in IT, boys. Hey, can you escape Spaniana there? I'm like, yo, dog, hey, me, I won't lie. I don't know how to help somebody get a job in IT, but I do know for a fact that all you have to do is apply. He's like, dog, I've been applying for years now. And look where I'm at. I'm literally helping you buy a cell phone here at Vodacom. It's a reality that the youth is faced with in the country. A lot of these people have studied already.
but they're literally sitting there home with skills, and the only option that they have is to work at ShopRite or at Vodacom in retail. Which is not a bad thing, of course, but not for a graduate. Let's keep going.
The brutal corporate catch-22. How do you get experience if no one will hire you to give you that experience in the first place? This isn't just a mismatch in the job market. In the hands of big business, it's an artificial bottleneck. By demanding unachievable standards for entry-level positions, companies can legally reject thousands of qualified local graduates. This keeps the domestic labor supply in a state of absolute permanent panic. Because when an entire generation is desperate, the value of all labor collapses. And when the value of labor collapses, profit margins for the shadow network skyrocket. People with a degree in engineering, finance, and administration, they are sitting at home, writing thousands of job applications and getting the exact same automated response. You do not have the required experience. Now, logically, this makes no sense for a growing economy. A healthy economy needs to onboard fresh talent. It needs to train the next generation of managers, innovators, and leaders. So why is corporate South Africa collectively refusing to do this?
They're collectively refusing to do this because if your competitors are literally breaking the laws of this country, the labor laws of this country, and you as a business decide to abide by the labor laws, you're going to lose to their competition because they are literally doing whatever it takes to beat you. Are you guys listening or paying attention? The reason why the country is where it's at right now with the companies or businesses that are operating in this country is because they want to compete. They're literally in competition with one another. If you decide to live or operate your company according to the laws of the country, you're going to lose. Because the rest of the competition is not abiding to the same rules. You feel what I'm saying? It's like if you play sport, for instance. If, for instance, maybe we play soccer, and your team decides to play rugby in a soccer match, what's going to happen? One team is going to have an upper hand on the other. One team can only kick a ball. The other team can hold the ball in their hands and run with it. The odds are stacked against the other team. Same thing with the situation that we're faced with right now with the Labor Department. It's not enforcing these laws, and therefore businesses are going to try to cheat, obviously. So until everybody abides by the rules and everybody is able to be profitable while abiding to the rules, then guess what? This problem is not going to get fixed, which means that it's going to take years and years and years to fix this issue. Therefore, it's going to take a very long time for the South African youth to get employment and to get the necessary skills to pass on to the next generation. So while these people are sitting idle, not working, or they're working in retail and not operating these higher positions or higher job positions, for lack of a better word, if these people are working these, retail type jobs and there's not a lot of people working in the STEM type jobs, that's a problem. Because now, remember now, STEM is the industries that grow the economy, like exponentially. If you don't have scientists in the country, if you don't have people who are working in tech, engineering, mathematics, etc., then the economy is not going to grow as much. I mean, just look at other countries that have literally, like Singapore, for instance. They invested in a lot of STEM type of education for the youth of the country, and look at where they are today. But no, the South African youth is only working in industries like hospitality and retail, which is extremely unfortunate. Guys, we need to do better as a country, and we are slowly fixing these issues. So do me a favor, go subscribe to Melusi Jubani. Okay, while you at it, might as well subscribe on this channel as well if you're not subscribed already. Click the like button to push this video. I'll link Melusi's channel on the description box. Okay, please make sure that you guys also scan this QR code that's on my top left. Make sure that you scan it. It will drive you to my bookshop. Buy a book to support the channel. It will help keep the lights on, so I can also be able to pay for my data fees, so I can be able to create these live streams. Let's leave it at that, chat. Appreciate you guys for joining this live stream. I need to go upload with the guys in him. RIP Mosa, RIP Bongo, RIP Poker.
My bro passed on yesterday. I need to call my mom and let her know that say home sites is no more. Listen, catch you guys on the next one. I'll start streaming again tomorrow. For now, love and leave you guys. Deuces.